So what I'm showing here are two of the members of the XtraTAP family. I've got the XtraTAP portable packet broker at 1 and 10 gig and the XtraTAP hybrid tap packet broker at 1 and 10 gig. Both of these products are managed by the same GUI, the same drag and drop simple look and feel. The small product here can be any mode of tap that you want it to be, from a bypass tap to bypass filtering tap to a packet broker. You can put the transceiver cages at the front for copper or fiber. As we spin the product and look around, you see that we have the options of two power supplies, 5-volt power, fully redundant, fully resilient. The product will work on one power supply. As we move up the range, we now have the hybrid tap packet broker, which has 4 1 or 10 gig tap ports, 32 ports of 1 or 10 that can be copper or fiber, and 4 ports of 40 gig. Architected all the way through this range exactly the same. So as we look at this particular chassis, I again have the options of 2 power supplies that are fully resilient, fully redundant, same as its smaller companion in the range, run off 1 or 2 power supplies. It has multiple fans, again, that can be hot swappable and variable speeded fans. So we have here two ends of the spectrum of the XtraTAP hybrid packet broker range, both architected all the way through the same way, both managed simply by the same look and feel GUI. If you can manage the small one, you can manage the large one. I've powered up the XtraTAP portable packet broker into its default mode. I've connected via the Ethernet on .10.10.10.200 admin GT admin 1, and I'm now going to go through the modes of setting this up through the GUI. So straight away when you look at it, you can see the packet broker, the XtraTAP format, and it's the same way as any other Garland product. When I click and go to system, you'll see the vertical column there of all the configuration settings I can do. You will also see the system information, the chassis model, the serial number, the MAC address, and the software version on it as well. Under general, the first little tip I would give you is, for myself as in Garland, we set all our timeouts at 300 seconds. So when you're configuring a chassis, you probably want to up that timeout straight away. And that's the first thing I always do in the general settings when I'm configuring. When I've finished, I go back to that 300 seconds, which is a security setting. Admin will give me how I add new users, from the default admin account to maybe operator account, whatever I want to call those, and I just click on the plus button and I add a user. You can see also there the privileges for the user groups, and when I created that user, I will then give them whatever privilege I want to use to modify this particular tap. Date and time is pretty obvious. I can set a date and time with a time zone, or I can select it to NTP to take a network time off the network. Syslog is currently turned off by default. Again, I can edit the system settings, and decide to create a syslog from that chassis. So it tells you what my UDP protocol is, the IP address, and the port number I want to use for syslog. SNMP, again, a simple click, tick for SNMP on, and then you start to edit the configuration and ask where you want your SNMP information to be sent to. Again, with the port number, the IP address, and the protocol, whether it's V2 or V3, and your password. We have the option to export the configuration. So export for safety concerns, maybe you need some sort of backup and stored for whatever confirmation that you need to do. I can import a configuration, and I can import from another device. I can, once I've exported this, maybe put it into another tap to set up again. I'm using the same community strings, I'm using the same time zones. Software update is very simple, just a simple click, choose the file, I upload the file. Once I've done that, the chassis will decompress the file, load it in and reboot. So those are the initial system settings that are the same on all of our products. The next part you come to is the dashboard. And when you look at that dashboard now, it shows you the status exactly the same as this XtraTAP is today. This product is an amazingly powerful product and an amazingly flexible product. It can be in many configurations. So as you can see here, as it's come out of the box, it's been set as a breakout tap. So the mode selected is a breakout tap. So it's the standard tap configuration where port 1 data is being sent out of port 3, port 2 data is being sent out of port 4. If you click that drop down, you can also see this product can be a bypass tap, a pure bypass inline tap at the 1 and 10 gig that this product can be. So I can have an inline tool connected to it, maybe a firewall, maybe an IDS, and all the advantages that a bypass tap gives you. It can be a span tap as well, so it can go into span mode. So my data from port 1, from my switch or whatever the span port is sent out to ports 2, 3 and 4. You'll notice as well I can now have a filter mode, and as soon as I click filter and set for filter, you see now that the dashboard has changed. At the top it's brought up packet broker. So I'm now going to go and use this product as a packet broker. If I click on the packet broker, you can see on the left hand side filter templates and configuration maps. So the first thing I'm going to do is to make some filters. So I'm going to create a filter, and you'll see in the standard Garland way my filters can be pass all, pass by or deny by. So I'm going to probably just make a single filter for the purpose of today, a pass by filter. I'm going to give it a name, as I can do, so I'm just going to give it any old name. Now I have options of what I want to pass that filter by. Do I want to be on source address of Mac, destination of Mac, my ether type, my source IP address, destination IP address, VLAN IDs, etc. It may even be level 4 source port or level 4 destination port. And just to make it very simple, I'm just going to decide to make this by a VLAN ID. So I'm now going to choose a VLAN ID and save that template. So you'll see straight away I have a template there and no description by the side of it, but I did give it a name. I could give it a description as well. So I'm going to create another filter, and I'm going to create that as a deny by. And again, to make it simple for the purpose of this, I'm just going to deny it by a different VLAN ID. So I'm going to deny it by my outer VLAN rather than my inner VLAN, and I'll give it an ID that I'm decided on, click on that ID and save the template. Now if you'll notice when I did that on that sign there, I haven't given the filter a name, which would be rather a silly thing to do, but it will save it. So I'm going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it deny. So I call it a deny filter because that's what it is, completely the opposite to a pass filter. So now you see I have two filters on my side. I'm going to go back now to my configuration map. So my configuration map allows me to create a configuration. So straight away the configuration map now is showing me the ports, the 4 ports on the chassis as a 4-port packet broker. the available filters, which are 500 filters inside this tiny little box, and then it shows me the filter templates, and you'll see there that my filter templates, my pass by, are green because that's green for go. My deny by are red filters because I want to stop coming through something through the box. If I have a pass all, by the way, it's a white filter. So I'm now just going to drag ports in. Very, very simple. I'm going to drag port 1 in on the ingress side of things, and everything from port 1 I'm going to very simply make it to port 4, and I'll apply the filter. So I've now sent port 1 to port 4 in a packet broker side of things and a filter. So port 4 could well be my monitoring tool. Port 1 could be an input from somewhere. I'll save that, and it comes up and tells you it's in the process of saving, and you'll see now straight away my packet broker configuration. It gives me the filter, the map from port 1 to port 4. I'm going to create another filter map now, and I'm probably going to make port 2. I'm going to drag port 2 into there, and I'm going to make that go to port 3 and port 4. So the data from port 2 is going to go to port 3 and port 4, and I'm going to just apply a filter again, any filter on there. So probably actually going to be a bit funny there. I'm going to allow certain traffic and deny other traffic. So I've brought 2 filters into that box now. So I'm now using more combinations, and maybe two security tools, 2 monitoring tools. I'm going to save. Pop-up comes up to tell me it's saved, and you can see straight away on the packet broker configurations I have a number of maps. I have from port 1 to port 4, which is set as the first priority in the box, and then port 2 to port 3 and port 4. By clicking on the arrows I can move the priority of these up and down. I have the option to delete from here, and I also have the options to modify those filters in any place. So that is the very simple way of making this product a packet broker. Very low density, high performance packet broker for small environments. If I come back to my dashboard now, you'll see that it shows it still is a packet broker. I'm in that environment. If I now change again, I can bring back another option. So I've now decided to make this an aggregator tap. Set, and you'll notice as I change that setting to an aggregator tap, on the dashboard the packet broker setting disappears. So now I'm an aggregator tap, so data from port 1 and 2 is going to both port 3 and port 4 as aggregated data. I have other options on here as a filter tap as well. So as a filter tap I'm acting as a tap, and you'll see the packet broker screen come back up again. I can come back into the filtering screen, create templates, start with templates again, exactly as I did inside the packet broker, and make this a filtering tap. So I may want to restrict some protocols to certain ports and bring them back that way as a pure filtering tap. Back to my dashboard again, and I have the option now of a bypass tap that filters. So I now have a bypass tap and that filters as well. So you'll see the dashboard has changed. It has the option of bypass taps and the options of filters. You will also notice the tap has gone into a bypass light LED an LED lit, which shows as well on the GUI. Now the beauty of this is I may want to be doing some restriction of traffic that goes to that inline tool. So the same way of applying filters that I did inside the packet broker, I can deploy those filters exactly the same in a bypass environment. So now I may want to, for one particular reason or another, limit the data that's going to my inline tool, and I have this option inside. So this XtraTAP portable packet broker can be a tap in any mode you want it to be. It has the advantage of also being a filtering inline bypass tap, and a very simple to configure and use packet broker in this really small form factor.